Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the Maddog and Pino NFL review. Two drinking buddies shooting the shit about the NFL.
How you doing tonight, Pino?
Pino's all right. Even the losers get lucky sometime.
They watch the games, break it down for you, and deliver all you need to know from the weekend's action.
That means there will take about 16 games,
Yeah.
right? So half of them lost, right?
Yeah.
So 32 divided by 2, but
60.
So no, 14 teams have a loss.
What?
Diehard fan? You'll get all the in-depth analysis behind the scores.
Devontae Adams had 175 yards last week. Well, the other guy, Nico Collins, had 107 yards this week.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
Or just a fan of the NFL spectacle? You'll get all the quirks, follies, and absurd moments from each weekend's action.
If he took a shotgun snap, by the time he caught it, he could smell the Starbucks on Micah Parsons' breath.
We got the shit kicked out of us from the moment they walked out of the tunnel.
So, join us now for the insights, laughs, and chaos that is the Maddog and Pino NFL review. Now your hosts,
Hey, everybody. I'm Maddog. I'm here with Pino, and this is the NFL wrap-up show.
What's up, everybody? We've been gone for a while. We've been knocking on doors. Not to get political, but we've been very involved. So it's over now, and we're back. The boys are back in town.
Yeah, it's been a kind of while. We of course, you know, Maddog and Pino did not look at the calendar and realize that on the Tuesday, which we normally do the podcast on, was election day, and then the Monday when we were going to do our first live podcast was the World Series. So,
World Series and Giants and Steelers.
Exactly. So
I can't even keep up with them by myself in multi-view at home.
We promise that we will do a live one at some point, but apologize for false promising there and under promising and over promising and under delivering.
So you know what? We'll come back whenever the fuck we feel like going forward. It was surprising. Hey, boys are back in town. That reminded me of that was the Busboys, right?
That was the Busboys, yes.
Yeah, who opened for Eddie.
Eddie. Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, he went into his whole like, just sing, motherfucker. Mick Jagger's an ugly motherfucker. He gets all the pussy.
Exactly.
And he goes, the Busboys, they fuck everybody. Elvis can't act. Fuck it. Let him sing his lines. Elvis, we got to win this race.
We got to win this race. I didn't know we were going right to the lyrics. I would have studied up enough. Well, we could do a whole podcast on the cook-off, the cookout.
Dude, I can't do math, but I think I could recite Delirious.
Exactly.
What a fucking waste of a brain. If I only had a brain. All right, so I just want to. Everyone sees I have the mic in my head right now.
Everyone does see that, yes.
So. The Big Kahuna Maddog recommended, hey, there's a podcast show on Netflix. Nobody wants this.
Yes.
What's her name? Kristen Bell?
Kristen Bell.
And the rabbi, I don't know what.
And then the chick from Succession. Who
oh, yeah, the sister.
Yeah, who knew that? No, it's the Logan Roy's, like, mistress.
Yeah, no, but she's a sister.
She's a sister. Yeah.
So it was about, and it looked like it started out podcasting. I'm like, okay, maybe we'll relate, blah, blah, blah. And I watched 2 episodes. I'm like, Maddog he has me watching a rom-com. And the fucking worst part was I was cheering for those 2 kids. I was emotionally invested in their relationship. It was crazy. But they did their podcast. They both hold the microphone.
Yeah. Do you want me to hold my microphone?
No, I'm going to put it back
Actually, I would be much more comfortable if I leaned back, I got to say.
Yeah, no, that's what here's how they did their thing. I might be on the screen right now.
No, you're on the screen, man. I think that's a good idea.
Well, I'm laying on the couch talking about dildos and all that stuff. That's what she met the rabbi.
Exactly. The spoiler alert.
So I recommend to all you girly men out there, check it out.
All you Renaissance men.
Right.
My word, that is.
Enlightened.
Exactly.
Enlightened.
So again, now we have to cover 2 weeks. I apologize for that. Of course, I'll try to keep the trains running on time as I usually do, but it's hard when we're trying to cover 2 weeks. So I don't know. We may throw it back to a week ago, but we'll probably cover everything this week, and it'll like the themes are consistent. To be honest, when you talk about this week,
we're only covering the shit that's important to us, and that's what our audience trusts us to do.
Right? Exactly. All right. So in college football when they have like it's Separation Saturday, when people separate each other from. I'm like, all right. So we are now at my mic is like I don't think it's working. We are now at that. All right, we now are at the halfway point, right? So no quarter pole. We are exactly at the half point. Half the teams have had a bye.
Halfway point at 17.
Because half the teams have a bye, half of them haven't.
Oh,
so we're
you are doing a little calculus.
Exactly, we're exactly at the halfway point.
And the 1 divided by pi squared, pi r squared.
And
that's the radius. I would get the diameter of the circle.
I was kind of surprised it's only a halfway point, and I was looking at like how much separation there is. Like there are the bad teams, and there are the good teams, and the in between teams aren't even that much, to be honest. So, as one example, there are. And by the way, the race for the number 1 pick has never been more crowded.
Yeah, it's a big bunch of, and I don't know that. We don't have to go to the college draft, but yeah, you're right.
So there are 8 teams that are 2-6 or 2-7. 8 at the halfway point, and that's the worst record in the NFL. So it's Miami, New England, Cleveland, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Las Vegas, Carolina, New Orleans. Actually, there's 9 in the Giants.
I was going to say, where's the Giants? I thought you put them first.
I didn't even listen to Giants.
Your co-hostess who likes rom-coms. That's his team.
So almost a third of the league is in the race for the number 1 pick.
Well, the Giants are going to get it because they're going to sit dimes and put Tommy Cutalettes.
So I thought that was interesting. And then at the halfway point, this is less interesting, to be honest, but the first place teams in the divisions are Washington. I don't think anyone would have picked that. Detroit, everyone would have picked that. Atlanta, I don't know, maybe half the people would have picked that at this point. Arizona, no one would have picked that in the NFC West. Buffalo, probably most people would have picked that. Pittsburgh, maybe a quarter of the people. I would have.
I see you and Tank.
Exactly.
I know 2 people would have that prediction.
And then Houston, Kansas City. So those are your division leaders right now. Of course, that's going to.
Houston doesn't look good.
They don't. But again, they're in that division where I don't think anyone's challenging them, to be honest.
And wait, you forget the 3-6 Jets. They're back in the Super Bowl because they won a Thursday night game.
I was going to get to that. All right. So anyway, so that's just to level set what's happening at the halfway point. Of course, there was the trade deadline, and every time I bring this up, I'm like, why am I bringing this up on the podcast? No one really cares, to be honest, but I care because, I'm like the GM version of the half of the podcast, and it's kind of interesting to me to see how many players because it used to be a non-event, now it's actually players move at the trade deadline.
I'm the Shane Gillis part of the podcast.
Exactly. There was a lot of movement. Like Detroit got Zadarius Smith, which everyone knew they were going to get because they needed to backfill Aiden Hutchinson. The Steelers needed to get a wide receiver. They finally did. They probably overpaid for it, but anyway, and then I don't know. I'm not going to go through every trade, but then the Chiefs somehow like miraculously get D Hopkins, and then he turns into like D Hop from fucking 8 years ago, and like I don't know. I'm so fed up with the Chiefs.
And as you told me when we were visiting during our production meeting. Yeah. That's the thing. That have you noticed that with the announcers? It's the other thing now. They always say we had a great visit in our production meeting.
Right.
Fill in the blank.
We should film our pre-production meetings.
Yeah, they're awesome. And I could, as I said, I could remember Eddie. Remember both Delirious and Raw. Just give me like 1-2 words to start it off, and I'm off and running.
Yeah, there you go.
And then in our production meeting, you mentioned that. Yeah, we talked about D-Hop going to the Chiefs. Because I said, I turned the game on. I didn't even know he was traded or on the team. And you're like, we talked about it.
We did talk about it in the last time. And you said exactly that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's my selective use of my limited brain power.
So anyway, I won't go through every trade. But, some teams got better. A lot of teams, didn't do anything. Like, the Raiders didn't do anything. I mean, I know they traded Devontae Adams, but that kind of had to happen. what are the Raiders like? Why don't the Raiders like trade Max Crosby for a first round pick or trade like Jacoby Myers? Like they're not doing anything this year. I mean, anyway, I'll get to.
Well, they fired the OC.
Yeah, I'll
right.
get. I got a
We'll
whole.
get to the Raiders.
I got a whole segment called dumpster fires. So we're gonna before we even get to the games. I didn't put you guys in there actually. All right, I had two other like salient points to make at the top of the podcast.
The big breakdown. Prescient.
One is like, what is the bullshit like philosophy around 30-year running backs can't do fucking shit? That
has been that has been dispelled.
Blown away. Like all right, so it's not only King Henry who leads the league in rushing, still looks like he can outrun or run over anybody in the NFL.
That dude's a badass.
Oh my god, he's a badass.
He still has that squirrel. And he must be a religious man. He has a crucifix still in his church.
Does he really? Yeah, you pay attention to that shit. I do not.
That's why I like the rom-com.
But I can name other examples, like James Conner. Like the Steelers gave up on James Conner 4 years ago, and he's like the heart and soul of that team. He gains like 80 yards a game. And he's 31. So I don't know. Like I think we're like overestimating what the lifespan or underestimating the lifespan of running backs.
And you didn't even mention 26.
Yeah,
that's going to cost Joe Schoen his job.
Yeah, I mean, it probably should.
He had a reverse hurdle.
I was going to get to that. No, we can get to it now. Like, because who cares? That was the most amazing athletic play I've ever seen on a football field. Ever. Not even close. I don't care about one-handed grabs. I don't care about anything. When you're running basically full speed, not maybe 3/4 speed,
20 miles an hour,
3/4 speed for him, spin and jump over a guy backwards. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Fucking nuts.
Unbelievable.
And so there's a couple things. One, that dispels that notion that running backs, they're like by the time their first contract's over,
they're done. So you replace them, right?
So we know that's not true. And then the other thing Saquon speaks to is how fucking bad the Giants are.
Organizationally, you mean? Or
organizationally, the offensive line. I mean, he had more. I don't know that he's had a negative play this year. Yeah, I'm sure he has.
But he had far fewer for sure.
His yards were presentable, respectable.
Right.
If beyond that,
right.
With the Giants, because he'd get 2 big runs a game.
Right.
Other than that, it was probably
he was getting
8 carries for minus 16 yards.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No,
that was a crazy fucking move.
I've never seen anything like it. Like I could not believe what it was almost like photoshopped or something. Like you didn't believe what you were looking at, you know?
And with to the Saquon story, adding to it, every time, what does Joe Schoen think, Giants GM, every time he sees one of these highlights? Because on Hard Knocks, the preseason, Mara was like, I really hate, Saquon cannot go to the Eagles.
Just don't let him go to the Eagles.
Right. And with a shit team, he's bye-bye.
So anyway, I think that's a myth. Here's the other myth that this one's percolating, but what the fuck? I'll say this podcast. So like
none of my thoughts are well.
The idea of giving a quarterback a second contract before you need to is a bad idea. All right, so I'll give you like examples. So Jordan, I'm going to go in order of how they got their contracts, but Jordan Love had another year on his contract, and they gave him whatever 250. Right. All these guys got 250 million plus. So they gave him 250 million plus, and honestly, like if you watch the games, he's regressing a big way, and like he makes all these stupid like plays, and he still makes some amazing plays. So like I don't know, maybe there's a Brett Favre in there somewhere, but he's got a long ways to fucking go. He leads the league in interceptions, and he didn't even play for two fucking games.
Don't you think, like you mentioned it when we watched the games together that one Sunday. What's it? Gomer Pyle, Jim Neighbors, Malik Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors.
Did I make that clear? Golly, Sarge. That's a show that was in black and white. No one should remember.
No one remembers that.
I should have dementia. But he was playing. He's probably playing better than when he's in the game. Better than Jordan Love.
Oh, Malik
Right,
Willis, yeah. I think he is actually. Statistically, he is. Obviously, the playbook's not the same. Blah blah blah. But anyway, we'll get to it in the games. But that was he is not $250 million quarterback material. Not the way he's playing right now. And then, all right, the next one I think in order was Tua. Tua, I don't know, maybe is, but he's never going to stay on the field for like the whole season. Although he did last year, I guess that's the counterpoint. But he's an injury.
He's one concussion away from being over.
And dude, did you watch that game? He did not slide a couple of times.
Oh really? No.
Yeah. Oh my God! Like everyone, even the Bills fans are like holding their breath. Like he like literally dove like to get a first down. I'm like, oh my God, dude, what are you fucking doing?
You got to give him credit for his effort.
Right? Yeah. But it's good. It's
going to. Coach probably gave him a French kiss.
It's not going to end well. That's all I'm saying.
French kiss. Everyone assumes that we don't.
I think that's just kissing.
The 50s.
That's just kissing. Are you going steady? I mean,
yeah. Hey, Fonzie. Hey, Rick.
All right, so another $250 million plus quarterback, Lawrence.
The Prince.
Yeah, the Prince. So actually, statistically, I looked it up. He hasn't played awful, but this team's got 2 wins.
Right? How is that? We had Doug Peterson getting fired 5 weeks ago.
I don't know, man.
He's still hanging in there.
Yeah.
And the Prince, like, he threw that interception at the end of the game. They should have won that. They could have won that game in Philly.
That game, we'll get to it in the game. So that game was unbelievable to me. Sirianni should have been fired after that game. Like, I'm telling you right now. And then the other one was Dak, who tops them all at $260+ million. He has 8 interceptions, which is I think second or third in the league. He has one of the lowest QBRs, whatever the fuck that means.
And he's the highest paid quarterback.
He's the highest paid quarterback, and now he's injured.
Well, you know what? I talked to my boy Bill Salen, big Cowboy fan, hates Dak.
They all hate Dak. They all fucking hate Dak.
He said, "I guarantee you that's a fake injury." Because as this thing is spiraling for them, the season for the Cowboys, he'll be able to say, "Hey, well, it wasn't on me. I was playing."
There was a report today that his hamstring was ripped off the bone, so maybe not. But
all right, never mind. Sorry, you're wrong.
And then it's not in the same category, but and therefore the one that kind of breaks the mold is Baker Mayfield. He did get a second contract. Maybe it was his third.
At a discounted rate, though,
with the same team, and he's like Baker's like
he's lighting it up. They should their record is growing. You know how Tuna said you are what your record is?
Yeah,
they're much better than record.
Yeah, what he did on Monday night, I freaking love that guy, man. He like toughed it out, and against. I mean, arguably the best defense in the NFL.
There's no receivers on that team.
No receivers, like literally, man. He ran for like 3. I was so impressed with Baker Mayfield.
I thought that defense was good.
Who? Buccaneers?
Buccaneers. They seem to.
Nah, they've been suspect actually, but.
Or as the young girl say.
And then
they've been sus.
The only other one that got a big contract this year, which isn't the same because he was a free agent, he changed teams, is Kirk Cousins, and we'll get to it. But Kirk Cousins is like he's becoming Kirk Cousins again. Of course, when he gets to like the real game, he'll fuck it up. But right now, he's fucking lighting it up.
That game against the Bucs that the Bucs lost.
Yeah,
he threw an interception and should have ended the game was over there.
Yeah, true. But when was that? Was that early in the season, or
it was like 4 weeks ago?
So I think he played the Steelers. And I don't think he was healthy. I don't think he was healthy yet, or at least he was still like nervous about the injury or whatever. But I think he's getting healthy now, more confident or whatever. But anyway, so those are the kind of opening comments I had. I did have one other, but do you have anything before we jump in?
Because I'm not going to talk games. I do want to go a little more on the NFL Network pregame.
Okay.
I mean, without the playmaker, they should just cancel. There's so much bullshit on it. And the NFL Network, by the way, is bullshit.
Oh, dude, I have don't let me forget. I have a comment about this.
What's the dude's name in the Angry Run stuff?
The what?
The guy who does the angry runs on Good Morning Football.
On the NFL. I don't know any of their names right now.
But there's a new shtick going on at that network, like with the Chip Colleen who's just sing-songy, like, hey, we're fired up, we got the Eagles, and we got...
Yes,
like,
yes.
Sing-songy bullshit.
Yes.
They love everybody. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, he's going to have a great... Oh, we love him. We love him. It's nauseating. But when she gets together with that other bouton... what's her name again?
The stats girl?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I got it in my notes. Like, she had, like, one guy was going to have...
17.4.
Okay. Taylor, 89 rush yards, TD, 2 receptions, 12 yards. Get the fuck out of here. Throwing that out there. And then did I send you the pictures I saw on there? Colleen, whatever her last name is.
Yeah.
On her X account, like the pictures.
No.
Her and her girl, Cynthia Freeland.
Yeah.
Like at the studio, they look like they're fucking in Vegas, going to Dre's or something, or on their way up in the elevator because they got a call. Like that's how they dress on a fucking NFL pregame show, and yet they want to be taken seriously. Be Leslie Visser.
All right, so I have a comment about you. You normally like focus on this shit, but I like the announcers. When did they give them they must have unionized. Here's why. They gave them the ability to show up on any network they want. Like Pat McAfee's on the NFL network. I'm like, what the fuck?
Everywhere.
What the fuck is that? And then Schrager's on ESPN. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, I don't even know what network I'm watching, depending on who I'm watching. And then the other thing, which I find like kind of amazing, is suddenly they're like in commercials everywhere. Like fucking what's his name? The guy I fucking hate, that quarterback from UConn, old Sansky or whatever. He's on a
Dan Orslowski.
Yeah, he's on a Geico commercial, and then fucking like all these guys are doing fucking commercials. I'm like, you are an announcer.
Yeah, and they're the same guys that be giving the player shit if he didn't perform well, like Baker,
right?
Did all those commercials, which I thought were great commercials.
Yeah, but
right?
Like since when are announcers like celebrities that are on commercials? Like there's that one commercial with they're not even announcers. Chris Fowler's great, but he's on it, and then Louis Riddick is on it. Like I'm like Louis Riddick on a commercial, a Geico commercial with a fucking caveman.
The only thing Riddick is, the only thing he's known for is he's still bitter he didn't get the Giants cheese.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, dude, you and I could announce it. It would be better, but
way better.
If it's like the Chiefs Steelers in the AFC Championship game, you could have them not show up, and everyone's still going to tune in.
No, exactly.
It makes no sense.
And if they put like I don't know, they put like Jake Paul and fucking McAfee on the Jacksonville fucking Carolina game. Do you think anyone's fucking tuning in for that?
Yeah, no.
I mean, give me a break.
Pat McAfee is everywhere. I think he was on Bill Belichick's show.
He's all over the place. It was like, I don't know. It so confused me. I just was flipping through channel. I'm like, what channel am I on? Right. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on.
Well, while we're on announcers, when were they mandated? Maybe part of these union negotiations?
Right.
Any play over 3 yards or minus 3 yards, they have to yell.
What a great defensive step.
No, as it's happened, it's like, Rogers to Adam. Rogers to Adam! Shut the fuck up. They should be required to, anyone who announces or
should like be able to have to turn their fucking mic down.
Should be required to sit through 2 Madden Summerall games.
Yeah, exactly. Before they fucking do it. Right. You're absolutely right.
Horrible. And with all there's new cliches, because it's like the cool guy club.
Yeah,
right. They're like the elites,
of course.
Right. If it's foot in the ground, downhill, those seem benign now.
Right. No, I
mentioned in the last podcast pitch count. They're playing fucking football. You're limiting its plays. That's what you're doing.
Exactly. All right. So since we're on the topic of announcers, I do have to again get our lawyers in gear, because on the last podcast, maybe it's probably like the last 8 podcasts, one of us would say something about the fucking sideline reporters, and especially the fucking halftime fucking interviews with the coach. And Rich,
finish your
got
to take care of the ball.
And you said something about like, why do they have these fucking like sideline reporters? And I said like, what the fuck is the coach going to say? Like, we got to stop the run, we got to run the ball better, and not turn the ball over or whatever. Like the same any like average football fan would know to say if they were in the same situation. And Rich Gannon on NFL Network, Sirius.
Sirius. Okay.
And he's like, he went on a whole rant. He's like, why do they have these sideline reporters asking the coach in the middle of the game what kind of adjustments they're going to make? Like, what are they actually going to tell him what adjustments they're going to make? What they're going to make?
Single high.
Exactly. What are they going to say? They're going to say exactly like the same shit that any fucking like average fan.
Take care of the ball. We got to finish drive. We got to get off the field.
Exactly.
Exactly. Play complimentary football.
Exactly.
Okay, fucking genius. Thanks for that insight.
Anyway,
but you know what?
As usual, Maddog and Pino are ahead.
We're prescient. So that reminded me, and I made note of it like 2 weeks ago. I don't know where it is, but that reminded me. In the days of, remember when John McKay was coach of the Winless Bucks?
Yeah.
Right, the expansion.
The Dreamsicles, yeah.
Yeah, and they played in those 2 weeks ago.
I know.
I have that in my notes.
Yeah,
those are badass units.
Those are badass units.
But I get a report. It wasn't a sideline reporter because I don't think it happened. A reporter asked him at a press conference what he thought of his team's execution. And you know what his response was? I'm in favor of that. That's fucking great.
That is great. That is awesome.
And by the way, speaking of sideline reporters at all these network, NFL, the pregame shows and shit, how does a young white guy get a job?
I've said that before too. What about an old white guy?
Yeah. What about a male? What about a guy?
They do have one. They have one sideline reporter that's a guy. On I think like CBS or something. Every time he shows up, I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
Where did he come from?
It does it now, like since it's the flagship crew, like the Brady, KB, Aaron Andrews. I think they got a sideline reporter for each side.
No, exactly. No, exactly. Like it's out of hand. And since we're on the topic, like it's what started when it first started. It was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting like add on to the analysis. But now these rules analysts are like pissing me off. Like I mean, like literally, like there's only 1 out of 10 times they say something that like again an average fan wouldn't know like was happening. Like what? Right. So like why do they have to like let's go to Dean Blandino to figure out
like if you look frame by frame, there was a little grab, but there was a little tug.
If you look, the ball actually hit the ground. I'm like, well, no shit, we could have seen that on fucking replay
in real time.
Exactly.
But that's why, every time I listen to him, Aikman continues to rise up.
Yeah, he really does.
Because they got into it, I think, on the last, I don't know if it was this Monday or last Monday. They had the rules out on Stan.
Yeah.
And Aikman's like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I still don't agree with it.
I love it. All right, let's get to
propaganda, dude. We're just being sold shit.
Oh Jesus!
Even in sports.
Let's just get to all right.
I have some other comments.
There you go.
I think I'm trying to come up with the correct nickname. Like Rip Van Richardson. Anthony Richardson.
Okay. For taking a play off.
My only comment on that is, hey, maybe he needed a blow and they could have called timeout, but like to tap out and say, hey, I'm tired. And then there was the following week when he was not playing, he was yawning on the sideline. This guy's partying like a motherfucker. You know that.
Yeah, he is.
He's only played 9 games in college.
Yeah, he's not like worn out like from
right
like for his entire career.
And whether he was tired and he's just not motivated enough, or the fact that he's so fucking stupid that he said that to a reporter.
Exactly.
He shouldn't be in the NFL on either, no matter how you slice it.
That's the other thing. We're just gonna riff for a while.
Yeah, we're riffing.
So that's the other thing. Like some of these players, like how did they get? They must get trapped. I'm not saying they're not smart, but like they probably like they get trapped by reporters sometimes and say like the stupidest thing.
Right,
like,
and I get that's not easy. Like if you're 22 years old and you got like 8 reporters around you.
But wouldn't you, as a GM, would you just train like we
playing hard.
We're playing hard. We're looking forward to next week. We're looking forward to next week. Exactly. Like, not like, I don't know. Well, maybe with a new coach, we would play better or whatever.
I don't know. I was tired. He said, "I can't lie. I was tired." Are you fucking kidding me?
All right. Let's before we get to games, I kind of like tease this, so I might as well go there. And we'll go into the games for each of them. And for a change, the Raiders will be like way up high for a change. All right, so I had a thing in my notes called dumpster fires, and it's most of the 2 and 17s, but the Cowboys are a dumpster fire right now. We can talk about why in a second. Raiders are. I mean,
I think AP's in big trouble.
The Raiders just benched their quarterback, put in a quarterback that they just signed from someone else's practice squad to replace him.
So I think in that case, Gardner Minshew is taking the hammer to the guy they just signed.
Exactly.
Not his own. He's now getting physical.
The Saints. How did the Saints score like 90 points in two weeks?
Remember, they went like.
I don't think they scored 90 points since.
They haven't. They're well, Dennis Allen, right? That's supposed to.
Yeah, and Dennis Allen got fired. As you said, the Raiders fired 3 coaches or whatever. I put the Jets on the list because 2 weeks ago.
Oh, because Super Bowl. They're on the Super Bowl bubble. They won the game on
2 weeks ago. They lost the fucking Patriots at home.
Right. And then they got to play Thursday night.
They played Thursday night.
And Houston, did they go to Houston for that game?
No, that wasn't the Jets. And the Raiders, I'm sorry, and Rodgers threw for like, literally, I'm not making this up, I think like 37 yards in the first half.
Like, he is absolutely immobile now. If you get if a rusher gets anywhere near him, he's down.
Yeah.
He can't move.
So anyway, the Jet, but we'll get to the Jets because of course now they're going to win the Super Bowl because they beat the Texans.
They got the most and that fireman had.
And then the Browns, and so we missed out because
Jameis won that game.
we missed out
off the air.
But actually, it's better that we're doing the Browns after 2 weeks because we got the Jameis party combined in 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
It's a microcosm of who he is.
Exactly. But the Browns are a mess. The GM, again, I'm not sure what else he would have said, but the GM did not commit to Deshaun Watson.
I didn't read that story. I just saw that like today, right? What did he say?
He basically said like we're just. The question was, is Deshaun your quarterback if he gets healthy again? And the answer was, we're just focused on, as any player, we're just focused on Deshaun's. No, he said, I'm on Deshaun's health, and we hope he gets better. What he did not say, if he gets better, they'll be a starting quarterback. So
he probably should have added, we'll keep him if we get some massage
Exactly.
Because his level of play has dropped off significantly since he's had to stay away from that.
All right, you want to talk?
I have another one. I noticed this. And it was before this weekend. The Redskins, and I decided I'm calling the Redskins.
Yeah, that's fine. I never know what to fucking call
with
them.
With their new unis, have you noticed? Like, you got your name on the back of the jersey?
Yeah.
And there's a line above the name and below the name, right?
Okay.
So it's like, there's 2 lines.
Okay.
And then the name is in the middle.
Right. Okay,
Here's what I want to see. Uniform adjustment for them. Like when we learned to write as kids, I want to see a dotted line in between the 2 solid lines, and then I want them to use uppercase and lowercase.
Oh, they should use cursive.
But I want uppercase and lowercase.
Do you remember all the fucking wasted time we did fucking writing cursive when we were in fucking grade school?
First start with circles.
Jesus Christ.
And that paper with the 3 lines, it was...
They used to give away awards in elementary school for the best fucking writer. I'm like, what the fuck?
Penmanship Award.
What the fuck is this?
Doctor won that one.
All right, so
I think that'd be cool. If you're gonna line it up like that, have the dots, man. That's how we all learn.
I think that'd be perfect.
I remember, like at St. Catherine's, the nuns had like for the chalkboard when we were gonna do writing stuff.
Yeah,
a chalk holder that they could skip it basically created that there was 3 lines across the.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
You volunteered to class the eraser.
yeah, exactly. Because you got out of class for like 6 minutes.
Then you get in trouble because you clapped them against the building and all the chalk was on the building. That was the last time you did that.
All right, that's all. That's all.
That's all our riffing.
But I don't know. We could hit the games, and believe me, there's plenty to riff in games. I didn't hit on a bunch of shit in the game.
Oh, okay. I got two more.
All right, go for it.
And we were just on Jameis. Like after his first win, he was literally quoting.
I'm glad.
Eminem.
No, it was even better. He quoted Eminem. He went from "Mom Spaghetti" to
Right.
"I walked through the valley of the shepherd."
Exactly.
Like what the? It was fucking awesome. I've never seen that in my.
Confusing. You talk about riffing.
And he went from Eminem to the fucking gospel, like Psalm 22.
Only he could do that. I love that guy.
I love him too. I hope he keeps playing.
And then I just had one more note that I took. And I think it was watching the game the last European game. Those fans, and you see it occasionally here in the States, across the pond. Who thought those oversized fucking like baseball caps?
I don't know.
Have you seen it? Like they're these.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. They have a lot of them in those.
There's
games.
a bunch of them in Europe. That should have had a shelf life of 2 weeks at most.
Well,
they're the dumbest looking fucking things I've ever seen.
The thing I love about the international games is like someone's wearing a jersey from every team in the stands,
and they get a lot of credit because they sing "Sweet Caroline." What am I, Mr. Blackswell? Whatever the fuck his name was. I'm on the red carpet with George Panaki.
Now that's a deep fucking reference. Right, I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Good luck connecting those dots.
All right, you want to talk about a couple games?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Well, let's start with your Steelers.
They didn't play this week, man.
Oh, you got that. I mean, they're on a roll. Danny Smith is like he gets more airtime than Tomlin now.
I think there was like it hasn't gone national yet, but there was a big. Actually, it was national. It was in the Athletic. There was a big piece on Danny Smith.
Seriously, I mean, that one game he was on TV. It wasn't the Giant game. It was before the Giant game. Special teams made a couple plays for him. I think they ran back a punt or a kick.
Yeah,
right. And he got more airtime than.
He's gotten a lot of shit over the years because the special teams haven't been good, but they blocked 3 kicks.
They played great special teams.
They're actually playing good special teams.
And then I think I saw on X, or some Steelers players posted it. They were in the gym and he's working out, like curling dumbbells and stuff.
All right, man. There you go.
All right, let's get it.
I'll cut off since the Steelers didn't play this week. I'm cautiously optimistic. I think Russell Wilson is doing what we thought he would do. He's energized the passing game. Mike Williams can't hurt. I don't know if he's going to help. But the back half of our schedule is brutal.
Well, you haven't played a division game.
So we played Bengals twice, so we're getting hot. We played the Ravens twice. We played the Browns twice, so maybe there's 2 wins. We played.
You got Jameis.
Exactly. You never know. We played Kansas City. So anyway, it's a tough back half. But I don't know if we're going to be able to compete in the Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore range. But if we have a home playoff game against any of those teams, you never know.
And I was not a Russ fan. But either way, Sean Payton fucked him over, and I hate Sean Payton. I'm rooting for him, and you're good. The Steelers are getting better quarterback play than they've had since Ben retired, right?
Maybe, arguably, since
one of the last 2 years of Ben.
Yeah, exactly. So, you can rewind our podcast. I said Rush was done when he was on Seattle. So
right,
so who the fuck am I?
I definitely thought he was done when he said, "Let's ride."
All right. Anyway, enough Steelers shit. Again, I'm going to
Steelers. Come on, I want to tell the crowd about you were at the alumni dinner.
I was at the alumni. Do you really? Yeah, I was at the alumni dinner. That was amazing. It was a celebration of the 50th anniversary of the '74 Super Bowl team, our first team to win a Super Bowl, and most of the people that were alive, absent Terry Bradshaw, because he's got a job.
Because he has dementia.
And yeah,
Terry Bradshaw. Even though he's still on the
but he had a video and anyway, it was a really special night. It was if you were a Steelers fan and you were there, it was very emotional. It was actually really cool. Really cool.
Dude, it's impossible to not be a Steelers fan. Even when they played the Giants, the Monday night game.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, oh, that's cool. I wasn't there. Fucking cocksuckers get all the calls. Was the kid who did the Coke commercial with Mean Joe? Was he at that
No,
dinner?
Mean Joe was there. But
No, I know he was. That's why I thought maybe that would have been a nice touch.
All right, let's get into some games.
Okay, let's go.
So we mentioned exactly. Pino didn't watch any of these, by the way. But all right, so rewind all the way to last Thursday. The Texans went into the Jets. The Jets were reeling, as we talked about. Jets are still one of my dumpster fire teams, but and in the first half it was 7-0, I think, or actually I think it was 14-0 or no 7, whatever. It was a shit game. Texans were winning. Aaron Rodgers wasn't doing shit. And then, I'll give him credit. He actually woke up in the second half. He threw for like 200 yards in the second half or whatever. And now, and give credit where it's credit due. Like the best catch I've seen all year was Wilson's catch in the end zone. That was like amazing. And now
Devontae Adams caught 5 balls or something like that.
And they're on the same page. And now the Jets are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, of course. And fireman in.
At 3-6, they're going to the Super Bowl.
Speaking of that, I just want to make the Thursday night games suck.
So
you cannot play football on Sunday and then come back in the NFL and then come back and play on Thursday.
I remember like the person that I first heard that from, not personally obviously, but like in the press was Franco Harris. Franco Harris, because they started playing Thursday night games way back when.
Right.
And he's like you don't feel right until Wednesday.
Right.
And then you got to go back out and fucking play on Thursday. So
they don't give a shit about they got a 10-day break before their next game. And the product is shit.
It's always so. As a betting man, I never ever bet Thursday night. Never, because you never know what's going to fucking happen on Thursday night. Never. Like it's like because one team could be like more like got through their fucking minor injuries better than the other team. You know what I mean? It's like you never know.
So so they want to, and then by the way, that's the worst. The Prime Video. Pre-game and post-game team? That's the fucking worst.
We got Clarissa Thompson. I mean, that's
not. But you got Fitzpatrick. He's become a character.
Yeah, he has. I think Jason Kelsey's just kind of mimicking Ryan Fitzpatrick, actually.
Yeah, like
in a lot of ways.
With Jason, who cares? But when the Jets won, so I did have it on for the whole time. Wasn't really paying attention. But, they won the game, so Rodgers was the quote-unquote player of the game where they were going to have on the set.
Yeah.
I looked up. I think there was half the fucking Jets roster was on the set. And it was as if they just clinched the AFCs.
That team. They're
3-6.
That team, it's. I don't even have words. Like, it literally appalls me. Like, the fact that Aaron Rodgers, which I've been saying for a while, I'm just sick of his shtick. Like, literally just retire already.
They got rid of another receiver because he didn't.
Mike Williams. He's on the Steelers.
Oh, is that they got because he didn't run a route, right?
He didn't run a route. Basically. So he's still running the team, and look how that's turning out.
Yeah.
All right. Again, in the dumpster fire category, the Cowboys.
I'm a cowboy on the Steelers side.
Or I'm setting up shop at the top of 4 seasons.
Okay.
Lost.
You can tell them all that motherfucking cowboy, baby.
That's better.
The sunshine shining.
They lost 21-27 at the Falcons. This game wasn't even close. CeeDee Lamb.
He's a disaster. His body language.
He actually, I'll give him credit. He was really hurt, and he came back in the game twice. So I'll give him credit. Here's what gets me about the Cowboys. They had no running game to speak. Going into the season, they knew they didn't have a running game. Don't you think that if
Derrick Henry wanted to
exactly if you're all in, don't you think you get Derrick Henry on your fucking team?
No, you take Ezekiel Elliott and then you suspend him because he doesn't come to team meetings.
Exactly. What a disaster,
dude! And their games, they make it's never as close as a score. They somehow in the fourth quarter,
right?
Because the prevent defense,
right?
If you took Dak's stats when they're down 21, he's the MVP of the league. Exactly. They don't turn into wins.
I don't know what's going on with Dak. Honestly, I mean, now he's on IR at least for 4 weeks, maybe for the season. Probably for the season because the Cowboys will give up.
Who's the backup?
Cooper Rush. But they still have Trey Lance. We may see a Trey Lance sighting before the end of the year.
Is Cooper Rush related to Getty Leopold? That's what I
I actually followed it. And the Falcons are, like I said, in first place in their division. They're 6-3. They, I don't know. I wouldn't say.
I think the Bucs should be leading that division.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the Atlanta scares me, but they got weapons on offense. Their defense is maybe slightly below average. I don't know.
Yeah, but with Kirk, he could do his usual big game shit show. But if he happens to be right, that dude could sling it.
Yeah, totally. Again, the knock against him isn't a big game. What happens? But
like that. You like that.
But he threw 3 touchdowns. I didn't look it up.
He's a good dad.
He is a good dad, and he has good bling, man. He's good bling.
Yeah, he's all about the bling. All about the bling.
All right, Raiders 24, the Bengals 41. We already talked about the Raiders benching Minshew for Desmond Ridder, who literally joined the team 6 days before that from the practice squad of Miami. Maybe I don't know.
I didn't watch a single play. I can't watch the Raiders. And I'm sure Raider fans are like, if they don't watch the Giant game, they can't watch shit.
So they fired 3 coaches. You said you think Pierce is in trouble. I don't think so. Here's why. Because if they were in trouble, they would
fired him.
No, they would have traded away players. I mean, Devontae Adams is a outlier.
Yeah.
Like that was a
malcontent.
But they would have been in a fire sale if they weren't going to keep him as coach. I really think they're going to keep him as coach.
You don't think Brady's going to bring Belichick in? It's not an easy part on it.
Can you imagine Belichick is in Vegas? Like, oh, let's go to fucking Drake.
Well, dude, no, I can't, dude. His girlfriend's like 28 years old. He's 72.
All right, maybe.
I'm not carrying the one on that one. I just feel it's way too big a fucking age gap.
And Cincinnati, bad for the Steelers, is getting hot at the right time. They're fucking Burrow has thrown 5 touchdown passes in the last 2 games.
But wasn't there some shenanigans on the sideline? Like about Burrow telling some maybe it's a rookie, like, hey, you're not in college anymore. I read, there was something about that.
Here's just a random stat for you. Trey Hendrickson leads the league in fucking sacks.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I was blown away when I heard that. Really? He has 11 sacks? The fuck?
And he confuses. Is he a white guy or black?
He is white.
That's what I thought. Yeah, but his name wouldn't suggest that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to. I'm not stereotyping.
No, of course. Well, I agree. That doesn't sound
based on my database.
But tomorrow the Ravens play the Bengals play the Ravens.
Oh, where's that game?
That's a good question. I don't know. But whoever wins that game, I have to worry about. Whoever doesn't win the game, I have to worry about less. Let's put it that way.
Right.
All right.
You don't care. It's just as long as it's not a tie. Right.
Right.
Yes. That's the only other.
Yeah, exactly. That would be bad. All right. Did we already talk about this? I can't remember the pre-production meeting, but the Saints scored 90 points the first 2 weeks. Like, haven't scored 90 since. The Saints went into Carolina and lost to the Panthers 23-22.
Give that stat you had. You gave me the pre-production.
So this is like, all right. So first of all, Derek Carr, this lost to his 31st team as a starting quarterback. The only team he hasn't lost to is the Raiders. So I don't know if anyone else has done that. I mean, maybe, I don't know, I'm trying to think of people that might have.
Where did he play? Was he somewhere before the Raiders?
No, he was at the Raiders first.
Okay.
So
what's the only team he hasn't?
Only team he hasn't lost to is the Raiders.
And he's only played on 2 teams, right?
Yeah.
Because I was going to say he's probably lost, and the 31 is. I'm sure he's lost the teams he's played on.
He's lost a lot of games, I guess, is the point. And this is the most amazing stat I heard. So when he runs more than 5 times, he is 18-5 as a starting quarterback. When he runs 1 time or less, he is 5-26. So I think they better, like, Derek, you gotta like stop being a pussy and fucking put your head down.
If it's like 3rd and 18,
yeah,
they
like,
should just do 5.
If I was a coach, I'd be like calling quarterback draws and make this motherfucker run.
We're gonna run you 6 times. We don't care if you gain 5 yards.
You know,
because statistically, we're going to win that game.
You know, I feel bad for it. Going back to the top of the point is top of the podcast is in the 30-year-old running back is Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara's having a fucking huge season. He had 155 yards. Like he's having a huge season.
How long till the Superdome starts for in the back? Because I think they invented
it. They did invent that. They absolutely did.
All right, probably Giant fans will go first, but I think they're on their way back. There's guys. Men are whoever goes to the games is telling their partner, "Hey, save those bags. Hey, ask for paper and save them."
All right. We're by the way, we're going to go way over time, but it's going to be. I promise you, it's going to be really entertaining from here on out. All right. So, in the entertainment hub of our podcast is
it's entertaining.
Is the Chargers 27 at the Browns 10, and. So we got both ends of the Jameis party. This was the other end, 3 picks. So this is amazing. I don't know how many games he started, but he has thrown 3 or more picks in 14 games in his career. How is that fucking possible?
What was that year when we really got on the bandwagon? He had 30 touchdowns and 30 picks.
It was a James party, man.
Make that shit up, man. He's still slinging it. And he's the great, he's one of the great interviews.
He is.
No matter what the situation is. He's a positive cat.
He is. Listen, I love him. I hope he keeps starting and he has 2 of the other side party for the Steelers.
I'm not going to say cute anymore. I just like the way that he's a positive cat.
Positive cat. That's
good. Cats for now.
That's good. I like that. You're bringing that word back. Anyway, the only other point I had in this game is I think the Chargers are a pretty dangerous team. And here's why. I don't think Herbert had some injury in training camp.
Yeah.
And then
he's been healthy.
And then he got injured in this before the Steelers game. He tried to play through it and played through it, but then I don't think he's been healthy until the last 2 weeks. And now that he's healthy, their passing game is taking off, and they're a dangerous team.
I mean, you got hit because I didn't put 2 and 2 together and get 5 like you just did with Herbert being injured, because what I was going to ask was, who gave Harbaugh the mandate to take their offensive football back to the leather helmet era? When you got Justin Herbert as your quarterback.
That's what it was the first 6 weeks, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyway. All right, let's cover this one, since this is not dumpster. I didn't put him in the dumpster fire category. I put him in the 2s and 7 category. But the Giants 22 at the Commanders 27.
All right, so you'll notice I wear the lucky shirt from that time I came over.
Yeah,
I'm wearing it tonight because it doesn't matter what the fuck I wear. I could wear platform heels and they're still gonna lose. Got a red, white, and blue blinking lights in it, but it's probably whatever. I've never been. So a couple things. I'm probably the last one to abandon Danny Dimes. I get pissed that the national media is always throwing him under the bus, and because he's had his moments. He is not the guy that can elevate anybody. For him to play well, everything has to be going well. The least a bit, any pressure whatsoever, he goes down. He's down. The turnovers are starting to pile up again. He makes some bad decisions under pressure. It's over for It's because he can have a contract this year.
Can I interject for 1 second on Danny Dimes?
He's a backup.
So I bet the Commanders on seeing, so I was paying attention, and he came into the huddle. I don't even know why the network feed had this happen, the camera on it, but he came in the huddle. They were down by 2 scores, and he went to every player we got this, we got this, we got this, and I was and every player responded to him. I gotta say, and they actually did come back. So it was just a moment in time, but listen, I think you do move on, especially if you got the number 1 through 4 pick
quarterbacks coming out.
But my point is, I think he's the next Baker Mayfield, or he'll end up on a different team and different environment and maybe excel.
Because universally, what you could watch it as a layman. He competes,
right?
Even when he's just getting the shit
right.
beat out.
That's kind of what I'm.
He puts his shoulder down and runs. Then when he breaks free, he trips over the 5-yard line. That's a whole other story. But it just doesn't. Every quarterback you see, even at times, makes plays that aren't there, and receivers are wide open. Third and 8, he's completed 6-yard passes.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know if it's on the receiver running the route or whatever.
But until this year, the argument was he didn't have any weapons. But like Darius Slayton and Neighbors,
Darius Slayton's having a great year.
I mean, those two are like, I wouldn't say they're at least average weapons. Right. You know what I mean?
Well, at least Neighbors.
I mean, combined. Like
you're right. Yeah, if that's your 1 and 2 receiver.
Yeah.
The one thing that they do, so, all right, that's my take on Dimes, right?
Right.
I think the whole thing's going to get blown up again.
But
Dable's big questionable.
They're committed, but here's another team that didn't do anything at the trade deadline. They had this guy, the edge rusher, that Ojulari, who is going to be a free agent. Why not?
Yeah, they should.
Why not move him for
a 5th-round pick?
Exactly. So I think that's Dable saying, like, if I'm here next year, I want this guy. We're going to figure out a way to keep him or whatever. The fact that they didn't trade Darius Slayton, like the Steelers wanted Darius Slayton. So I think that's all signals that Dable's not leaving this year. I'm telling you.
Or that Joe Schoen is incompetent.
That might.
I don't think there's any doubt. We talked about the Saquon thing. Joe Schoen, the GM, time.
Yeah.
Although he's had his last 2 drafts, and especially this one,
yeah,
they've been pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he didn't draft Dimes. But there's no quarterback coming. I'm playing a Jedi mind trick with Dimes, thinking that I remember when the Giants won the first Super Bowl with Eli. Well, they weren't for 2-7, but I was like, they got to move on from this guy. He sucks. So I'm trying that. It's a little too late. But here's the thing about Dable, dude. They have run every game. Wan'Dale Robinson, the kind of scat back receiver type guy.
Yeah.
He they constantly throw him this wide receiver screen, thinking, hey, you just get him the ball in mid-space and he's going to make a big play.
Right.
I've watched it 15 times where it's gained a yard.
Right.
And they throw it on 3rd down.
Yeah.
And he's always short of the first down.
I hate that shit.
And Dable's the play caller.
I hate that shit. Every time I see someone catch a ball on 3rd down and whatever it is ahead of the sticks, I'm like,
right.
Especially when it's a design play ahead of the sticks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what they do.
That's fucking bullshit.
So that's why I think Dable could be in trouble.
But the owner already came out and said he's safe.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't say that about Joe Schoen, did he?
I don't remember.
But again, the deal is he had a good draft. The guy Tracy they got, the running back.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I mean,
he's no Barkley, but he's awesome.
Well, they gave the guy Diesel from Buffalo. They gave him 26, so the Giants still have 26 at running back. It's just a bummer. I'm literally not interested anymore.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, I'm not going to not watch him.
Yeah.
But I'm not sitting there banging on the table that's a bullshit call.
Right.
Whatever.
They won. Shit. We're in draft position.
Right.
Fucked up. All right.
And they don't score points. And they don't score points at home. They're horrible at home.
Yeah, that's weird. That is weird. All right. We have a bunch of more games. You just want to go rapid fire?
Go rapid fire.
All right.
I'll shut up. But you know me, I'm not talking. No.
Well, we should talk about one game. The Lions 24, the Packers 14. This was the game of the week. Interdivision showdown. The Lions hadn't played outdoors yet, and it was shitty weather and Lambeau Field.
Yeah, Aaron Andrews was in the raincoat.
Exactly.
Put on, not even talking to him.
Exactly.
She's looking over. Yeah, he went to the blue tent. And I'm going to just watch it from here.
And so I should have said this in opening comments. When are we going to start talking about Jared Goff being MVP?
I want him. Okay, I'm on the same page with you there. I still stick by it's. There's no. They are the fastest team in the NFL. They have to be. Watching games,
yeah,
like in regular speed. Those fucking guys, you get them the ball, they're fast. Goff is he
doesn't throw any completion.
He doesn't.
It's amazing.
And
seriously amazing.
Just due to my anti-Ram bias, with all that.
Yeah.
With
the bandwagon. Yeah.
And so I was kind of hoping he failed for the Rams. I am rooting for him big time.
Yeah, everyone is.
Because then he'll say that, fuck you.
Yeah, I agree.
You got a quarterback that's 15 years older than him.
Exactly.
Right?
He is, and there was this one play, again, like Dan Campbell went for it on 4th and 1 when it was, obviously it was a game where points were going to be like hard to come. Actually, it was 4th and 3. They did get it. And then they had 1st and goal after that. And I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything like the pattern that Amon St. Brown ran. Like, it was like in a sloppy field. It was like the most amazing thing. And he didn't get much separation, but then
Goff put it right on him.
Goff put it like the only possible place. And Amon St. Brown made this amazing athletic turn to like, I was like blown away. Like, how does that happen? Like, literally, like, it's, they are really fucking good. They are really fucking good.
I surely hope they win the NFC.
Yeah. I don't know who's, I mean, I don't know.
Who's better?
No one's better right now. There's not anyone better right now. Can San Francisco get healthy and challenge them?
There's a lot of
room.
stuff. Right.
But now it's all, unless something weird happens, it's all going to be in the Superdome. So it's a whole different ballgame.
Right. I mean, Kid Rock will be there.
Is that? Oh, yeah.
For that shit. Chilling.
We'll go there for kids stuff.
Yeah, I like that. Well, they only have one loss, right?
Yeah, they're 7-1.
Dan Campbell sold his house over the one loss. Like, you talk about everyone in Detroit overreacting as if they're in the Super Bowl every year.
Right.
They're 7-1, and he had to move.
Yeah. Well, that's such
I like it. And then the only other comment I have on that game, I know we're supposed to be going around.
No, it doesn't matter. Who cares?
I certainly more than one of my favorite helmets of all time is the Green Bay Packers helmet.
Yeah.
The yellow with the G.
Yeah, G for greatness.
2 games now, they're fucking with the helmet.
They are.
They had the white ones on 3 weeks ago. Like, what the fuck? Mr. Blackswell chicken again.
All right, so going back to my top of the podcast, again, who cares? We're just going to go way over. So the Jordan Love, so it was, I don't know, it was like 7-3, and maybe it was 10-3. And they get the ball in sloppy weather with like 45 seconds, maybe 1 or 2 timeouts at their own 10. And he tries to throw a screen pass and throws it right to the fucking Detroit guy. And now it's 17-3. Yeah, 17-3 going into fucking halftime. So, like, he has got to, like...
Didn't he come out of the game for a while, too? Was he hurt? Did he came back in?
No. He was gimpy for a while. I don't think he came out.
Only gimpy after an INT.
Exactly. All right. As rapid fire as you want to go. I'm going to go best games from here on out. All right. Bucks 24 at the Chiefs 30 in overtime. I'm sick of watching this. Like, you just know it's the same movie over and over again. The Chiefs are going to win.
Right.
They're going to find a way to win. Like, it doesn't matter how much you're down or when they're down. They're just going to find
especially in that at their stadium, and
they're going to find a way to win. It's like it's just so frustrating. Like,
Taylor Swift was there again. She's not attractive woman. I'll just say that.
Oh,
I wouldn't throw her out of bed. What are you going to say?
And then the stars of the night were DeAndre Hopkins, who had 2 TDs and made an amazing contested catch. And they got him for a 5th round draft choice, maybe a 4th if they go to the Super Bowl. And then Lamar Hunt? That doesn't sound right.
Lamar Hunt was the original
it's like, wait a minute.
The Hunt family still owns it, right?
Yeah.
You got
that's what confused my brain for a second. Kareem Hunt.
His great-granddaughter, Lamar Hunt's great-granddaughter, is much hotter than Taylor Swift.
Exactly. I'll give you that. And then Kareem Hunt, who they got off the fucking street, is like running like a madman, like putting the game away. Like, it's just like
they got him out of the penitentiary, right? Because he had some domestic violence.
Exactly.
So he sat out a but yeah, he's right. Well, it's like the 3 years did him good.
And then like everyone held their breath. Like Mahomes did this amazing, like, you know, maybe it was left-handed right now. Who fucking knows with Mahomes? Made this amazing like scramble and then threw it over his head for a touchdown.
And the knee or the ankle.
He buckled something and they brought him to the 10 and honestly watching it, I was like, I think he's really hurt. Yeah. Like, and nope. Fucking comes out of 10, starts jogging, and came back on the field. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. With the helmet that doesn't fit and the little steps that he takes.
Exactly. Anyway, what was lost in that game, we already talked about Baker Mayfield. Like honestly, that drive that they did at the end of regulation, right, to put it in overtime, was like amazing. Like literally, like he put the team on the back. And again,
he runs when he has to,
without any wide receivers, made in shitty weather, made great throws. I was so impressed with him, man. I was so impressed with him. All right, and here's a question: they score a touchdown. You're in Kansas City. You go for 2, don't you? I mean, and Todd Bowles is like, it was never a question. We're going for 1.
We want to delay the inevitable to overtime.
I mean, the only thing you're thinking, I think, at that point is it comes down to a coin toss. My offense just moved it right down the field, and we can score a touchdown against this defense. So that the coin toss is 50-50, and maybe they don't score. Maybe it's like, so I think the odds actually kind of were in that decision, but I would never make that decision.
No, if you got a chance to win it right there, you just win it.
Yeah.
Because you're probably going to, you're going to lose it. The other, can I do one more point on Taylor Swift when they showed her? Like, if somebody catches a pass, her reaction in that suite is like when Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. Like, her mouth's wide open and she's looking around like, oh my God, can you believe that? One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. 1 4-yard gain.
All right, enough about that game. This may be our longest podcast, by the way. All right, so
this is the double album. This is our Exile on Main Street.
This is our Kiss Alive 2, man.
Right, it's Exile on Main Street. We're at Keith's place in France.
All right, I'm going best games. All right, Jags Eagles.
We didn't cover them all yet.
No, I'll go Rams 26 at the Seahawks 20. This game fucking pissed me off. I had because I had a bunch of parlays and I had so much money on the Seahawks, and fucking Geno Smith threw 2 interceptions, horrible interceptions in the end zone
at home, right?
Yeah, in the end zone. And then, despite all of that, they get to overtime. They get to the Rams 16 with a it wasn't even 4th and 1. It was like 4th and 3. And for a field goal to like try to get it, and they don't get it. Yeah. Unbelievable,
dude! I got to tell you this relative to that game with the Rams. You know, I've not been a Big Bay fan. He might be doing his best job as a coach in his career this year.
Dude, they have. I
think they came back against the Niners, won that game.
I don't know the actual stat, but that team is so young. They have like 12 out of 22 starters that are like rookies or second-year players. They're like, that's a really, look out for that team in like 2 or 3 years. I'm telling you. Oh my God.
And they got to start, like Nakua got thrown out for throwing a punt. They got no one on the roster.
Right.
And he's throwing haymakers to get thrown out of the game.
Unbelievable. So that division, we didn't talk about that. I talked about Arizona leading it, but that division, everyone's got 4 wins.
Right,
4 or 5 wins.
Win that division.
It's crazy.
Although, when we talk about momentum, how it's trending,
Arizona's got it, man.
And Seattle's not winning that.
Yeah, I don't think so. The Rams are Arizona. Like, I don't know who.
I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams did.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. That's why they didn't trade Cooper Kupp to the Steelers.
Yeah.
All right. Going best games. Jags 23 at the Eagles 28. This wasn't really a good game. Like, we talked about the Barkley play.
Right.
What we didn't talk about was that the Eagles are blowing them out. And fucking Sirianni, I wrote this down, went for it on 4th down twice, didn't get it. Went for 3 2-point conversions, didn't get any of them. It gave Jacksonville an opportunity to fucking come back.
He's an asshole.
What a fucking idiot.
Best part about that game was when what's the quarterback's name?
Hurts?
Yeah, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts. When he overthrew the receiver in the end zone and the fan caught it.
I didn't see
spiked it.
Like
a guy literally at the back of the end zone in the first row caught it.
Yeah, and he spiked it. That's awesome. That is awesome. All right. Now it is somewhat rapid fire. Colts 13 at the Vikings 21.
I had to tap out, man. Can't lie, I was tired.
This game was like it was 7-0 at halftime, and there was only a defensive touchdown scored.
Yeah.
And then Sam Darnold threw 2 bad interceptions, so maybe he's
maybe he's
But then he threw 3 second-half touchdowns. So who the fuck knows? I thought that the Brian Flores defense confused the quarterback. Like Joe Flacco's seen everything, right? So but no, confused the fucking shit out of him too. All right. Broncos at Ravens. This was my lock of the day. This is how much these fucking idiots on fucking the pregame shows, they had to pick, they always pick they always pick their dog of the day, and they all pick the Broncos. they all pick the fucking Broncos, and I'm like, all I did was maybe I shouldn't bet $5 grand in that. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no way the fucking Broncos are gonna hang with the fucking Ravens.
Right,
no fucking way.
Yeah, and because there's this whole all the propaganda and this Sean Payton, he's made his career on an onside kick in the Super Bowl.
Right, that's true.
I don't know what else he's done.
That is true. Anyway, Lamar Jackson, we're talking about golf being MVP, his obvious competition is Lamar Jackson. He had a perfect passer rating. King Henry, did King Henry shit that team is scary. That their Achilles heel has been their defense, but their defense played this well.
Well, you know what? It's the harbinger of things to come. The game they could have won, where what's the guy's name? Hamilton, defensive back.
Yeah, against the Browns.
Dropped the interception.
How that's an amazing thing. We think the Ravens are gonna go to and maybe win the Super Bowl. They lost to the fucking Browns and the Raiders.
Right.
How is that possible? How is that possible?
Their defense is not any good.
How is that possible?
I like when they were over.
That might be it.
So, okay, good. So that game when they lost, Lamar had the dreads out.
Yeah,
his hair wasn't tight. And at the end,
is it ever tight?
He took off his helmet and threw it, and the hair came out like. Remember Oscar Gamble?
Yes.
With the Tribe?
I do.
Well, if he was running the bases and his helmet flew off,
he was a Yankee too.
I know he was.
Yeah. All right, two other games. Pats, just a rapid fire. Pat, since we're way over anyway.
Yeah.
Pats 17 at the Titans 20 in overtime.
I'm used to the Titans.
Mason Rudolph. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Bears 9 at the Cardinals 24, something like that.
There's a lot of trouble in Chicago, I think. Eberflus is probably in trouble.
You know what? I don't know. Everyone thought they won 7 games last year with Justin Fields and whoever, but this is a whole it's going to take. I don't know.
Well, we didn't talk about relative to that team. There seems to be a mutiny of some sort, especially with that defensive back.
Yeah,
who fucking was talking the crowd in the Hail Mary? We're out of time.
No, we did not talk about that.
We'll talk about it next week.
No, we talk about it right now. Who cares? We're over it. We're good.
Hey, fucking shut it off. It's a free country. Our democracy is not at stake anymore. You can shut off the podcast if you're bored.
All right, I guess we can talk about next time. All right, so here's what happened. 2 weeks ago, the Bears actually were beating the Commanders in. Where do they play? Washington, Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia.
Somewhere around there. And it was 3 seconds left on the clock. The Commanders were at the 45-yard line or whatever, and the defensive back Tariq Stevenson comes down the field, starts yelling at the crowd, taunting them.
He's not even in the play. He's moving to the sideline.
He's moving to talk shit to the people in the end zone, and then they snap the ball. And I could go
Daniels scrambled for 9 seconds.
Exactly. He ran 41 yards. I heard that.
Okay.
41 yards scrambling before he threw the ball. Then throws a ball, and then the guy talking shit to the people in the stands realizes that there's actually a play happening, runs over. He's the one that tips the ball.
Oh, he's the one that tipped it.
He's the one that tips it, does not knock it down, and it goes into the Commanders. Unbelievable.
Even though you know how I feel about Dan Quinn and that cheap hat.
Yeah.
I probably because Philly is
he's coach of the year right now. He's coach of the year right
now. I'm rooting for the Redskins.
Not next week, you're not.
What do you mean next week?
We play the Steelers next week.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go Steelers.
Yeah, it's a real test for both teams next week, actually.
Yeah, I just worry about Jake Daniels. If he can stay healthy, it's going to be RG3.
I hope he's not. I hope he's not RG3. Like he is really. He's exciting to watch.
He is.
He really is. But anyway, I think that's what we got this week.
That's it. We emptied the vault.
We emptied. You don't have any other notes that you got from like 4 weeks ago?
I'm sure I do. Did I talk about electric football yet?
You didn't talk about Roger's syndrome yet. You can talk.
I mean, that's just, I am going to do research. We're going to get it right now.
We're getting what? No, we're getting 2 helmets with a 1 fucking
right, and the helmet's got to have just the 2 bars.
Exactly.
Or we should get. You know what they should have is kickers should wear those old Jan Stener
the one
face masks,
the single bar.
Yeah, I guess the Chiefs would probably go for it because you get them at a discount. Because they don't, clearly they don't pay top dollar for their team's helmet. There's no brand on it.
All right, that's what we got.
That's it. I had one more thing, but it's not important.
All right, I think that's what we got for you guys this week. We will be back to you Tuesday, maybe.
Maybe next Tuesday. What did I have? Why did we not do Tuesday? Oh, it was election day.
Yeah, it's election day.
That was a very serious day for us. So yeah, we'll be back Tuesday next Tuesday.
Yeah, I think we're on regular schedule Tuesday.
Yeah, and I'll watch the games this weekend.
On that note,
all right, we out.
We will see you guys later.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show, and follow us on social media to stay in the loop with all things Mad Dog and Pino. Until next time, keep those ice cubes jiggling.